This is the second season in a row we've had to deal with something like this. So, it's not something we want to talk about, but it's a major story. We kind of have to. We have no choice. And here it is. On the screen right now, there's a tweet from Shams Charania that dropped like a week or two ago saying, breaking, the U.S. District Attorney's Office is investigating the Detroit Pistons guard Malik Beasley on allegations of gambling related to NBA games and prop bets, sources told ESPN. Serious developments surrounding one of the top NBA free agents. Now, I believe he was like days away from signing like a 3-year, $54 million contract extension with the Detroit Pistons after having one of, if not the best season of his career.
Man.
And now something like this happens, and it's crazy. We obviously had this with Jontay Porter last year. Jontay is a much worse player than Malik Beasley. Beasley's been in this league for a while, and now this. So, Antoine, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, this was out of left field completely, to be honest, when Shams dropped the tweet. And it is very surprising. Malik Beasley's gone into some serious trouble in the past. When he was on Minnesota or Denver, he didn't play for a full season. I think he was suspended. 2021, he was suspended by the NBA for 12 games. He had a guilty plea for felony threats of violence and drug possession charges.
Okay.
I remember that, and he was really good. He was, I think, before the Timberwolves got like Butler and everybody else, Beasley was kind of like their like good like player, like role player, and then that happened. But some tweets came out recently from NBA Central. Apparently, it's has to do with a lot of things besides sports gambling. He's being sued by a sports agency he's employed for alleged breach of contract. He's failed to repay Hazon Sports in a full cash advance of $650,000, and they're seeking $2.5 million in damages and legal fees. Apparently, this is also another tweet came up saying that this is stretching to a lot of other things besides prop bets.
Wow.
He has like some debt he has to repay with like. It's focused on wire fraud, gambling, and prop bets. He had a 3-year, $42 million deal ready from the Pistons that has now been rescinded, of course. And we were talking about Beasley in the middle of the season, like as the unsung hero for this team that came back from just a bunch of everything we just said. And I remember Bees was on the trade block from Detroit for like a hot second, and he ran into the office of trade landing and said, "Don't you dare trade me. I'm re-signing here." Like.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to be. Trajan abided, and they did pretty good in the playoffs. Of course, the first round exit was rough, but it was nonetheless a really good first playoff series for them. Malik was okay. He wasn't his best like he was in the season. But that led to this in the offseason. Just very unfortunate for a player like Malik. Love watching him. He's a great player. Very, very scrappy. Of course, against the Knicks, his defense was, great. I know people have been like finding videos online going back to like times where like we think he was betting on like score lines and stuff, like moments in games. I don't know how accurate that is because again, it's still an investigation. It's not been proven yet. But nonetheless, it is scary news for the NBA, scary news for the Pistons and the players that are all close with him. And again, it kind of brings up the same conversation of just what is going on with the agreements with the NBA and FanDuel, DraftKings. They market the crap out of every game with bets and same-game parlays that are on the screens, and the players find themselves in this trouble again. So it kind of leads to the conversation is like, do we need to pull this? Like, is this getting to a point now where we could see someone massive, more than Malik Beasley, get into the same type of trouble? And if this is good for the league, bad, but again, at the end of the day, this is my last segment, last yap before I pass it to Gio, but like, at the end of the day, these guys are grown men. You should know that your job is not entitling you to, like, not entitled, your job in the NBA, you know you're not supposed to bet. It's kind of like in that 101 of being a sports player, like, and you're just an adult, you should know that you don't need to do this, and like, you should be able to keep yourself from getting into trouble like this because you're an adult and you know what's going on. But
and also
sometimes
he's making enough money as an NBA player. Like, what else? Why do you need all that extra money?
He was in financial trouble.
He was. He's in debt.
He was in debt.
He's in
Oh,
debt.
really?
Yeah. He's in debt. Yeah. He
And
owes a lot of money.
And that's a problem internally. It could be from the off the court stuff. It could be from before. And that's a big problem. Like when players get drafted into the association, there's a lot of courses and people you need to see and take of, how to stabilize your life. Because a lot of these people essentially are a lot of people don't come up for anything, especially the players that are already in the league. There's no NIL. They got free rides to college, but they still didn't have money to begin with. And then you get this money, and you can't just spend it all on partying and everything of that nature. You just can't do that. So with Malik Beasley, it's more the sense of he mismanaged his assets, and he made some dumb decisions without those kind of assets, and now he's in this big hole. So, Gio, what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Yeah, my first thoughts were, do you guys remember that play in Game 6 where Malik Beasley got the last touch on the wall? And
That was someone that
do
was
you
someone.
think that he purposely dropped that? Or because, how do you drop a ball, a perfect passed ball right here with a couple seconds to go where the Pistons supposed to lose that game? Is that why he dropped it?
The allegations are stemming from last season, so 23-24.
Okay.
There's been no investigations and anything
On this
regarding
season?
this season.
Got it.
Yeah.
But still, to have one of the best shooters in the league, right? Because he was second in 3 points made this past season,
Yes.
right behind Anthony Edwards. And he would have been first if Anthony Edwards didn't hit 8 threes in one game or in the last game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The fact that one of your best shooters in the league is being investigated like this is it's really hurtful. And it's really hurtful more so to his teammates, the people that trusted him most. I don't know. Look, we don't know if he's 100% guilty yet, right?
No,
but if this is the case, if the allegations are true, it's how can you trust him anymore if you're a teammate of his? You know what I mean? Like the relationships that you build throughout the season, all to find out that your teammate was losing games on purpose, for an example, right? That definitely destroys relationships. What do you think about that, Tyler?
I'm kind of in agreement with you, and I think his lawyer had said something in retrospect of an investigation is not a charge. He has the same right to due process and everything of that nature. So we can't really assume. But once a story comes out and once people start digging and finding information and everything like that, and you see more things come out, you see the financial trouble, you see the videos of him scoring late in the game to cover the spread. You see him missing shots and doing things that seem really sketchy, right? You saw there was a play where he just let the whoever had the ball just go right by him. He didn't even move. So
yes, that was during the Pacers. This
Yeah.
regular season this year.
So no, that was when he was on the Bucks last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Hallie. Hallie went right by him.
Yeah, but this year he's on the Pistons.
Yeah, I know.
So
I thought it was on the Pistons. Never mind.
no, it was on the Bucks. So it's looking increasingly likely that he's going to wind up facing similar fate to Jontay Porter, which is essentially, permanent ban from the NBA. And like I said, the NBA just controls the NBA. This is the U.S. District Attorney's Office that's investigating Malik Beasley. He might wind up in prison if this all winds up being wire fraud and, if he's breaking the law. There's no two ways about it. He's breaking the U.S. law,
Right.
and
Allegedly,
yeah. So if that winds up being the case, it's really sad for someone that had the potential to be in this league for a lot longer.
Right.
So
Yeah, because the Jontay stuff was the NBA investigating because someone saw those bets show up on FanDuel so randomly.
yeah,
And this Beasley, it's the U.S. government's investigating him. It's not the NBA.
yeah. I mean, the NBA investigated Porter, but the U.S. Court system got involved, obviously, and he's facing jail time. That I think his trial's later this year.
For Jontay?
Yeah, I think it might be August or September. I don't know exactly when.
Got it.
But he's in a lot of trouble, man. And
I know. It's crazy.
Who knows what stems from here? And this kind of screwed the Pistons over because their whole plan was Malik Beasley, and now you're gonna have to settle for someone. And they wind up doing that. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, they did.
But now we're kind of in the situation where they should have traded him in February. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate, man. There's nothing else you can do.
Well, yeah, I'm on the mindset that they have no idea about this because you're not telling the organization you are doing this or any type of wire fraud or debt. So like again, the Pistons did a maneuver. We'll talk about that later, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's just we'll have more information for sure once it does come down into what's gonna happen. What's gonna be? This is an ongoing situation. It'll be updated throughout the whole time in this podcast. So, this is just the first part. So again, we have to get to the middle, the conclusion, and then again after the conclusion, there might be some other things that come along.
Do you think that's why he told Trajan Langton not to trade him? Because if he got traded, maybe there's more background checks they would have to do, stuff like that. I wonder if that could be. This is just me speculating.
That is possible.
Like he could be innocent. We don't even know, but
Right.
Based on there's more at stake with him compared to the Terry Rozier situation. He just got cleared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's getting cleared.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? This could be clearly on hearsay. We don't know exactly.
Right.
But
I think he's done.
Yeah, it's a scary thing for him. So he just needs to literally just say everything and just take whatever punishment they hand you. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. You got to learn from your mistakes and just bite the bullet. It's unfortunate that it happens to people like this that are, adults, have like full-on careers, making millions of dollars, and they find themselves in situations like this. It's just kind of, we see it all the time in the news when it comes to certain people. It depends, with celebrities, A-listers, they find themselves into a lot of debt sometimes because they do have a lot more expenses than we do as regular human beings sometimes. And bad decisions as well are a big part of this as well. But we wish the best for him, and hopefully he's, not too down on himself, just got to go on with life.
If he's guilty, I don't wish the best for him.
Mm-hmm.
If he's guilty, I hope he gets what he deserves.
Well, right now we don't know.
But still, I'm not gonna assume that he's innocent or guilty. He's under investigation.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm of the mindset that you better be innocent.
Right.
If not,
Exactly.
I'm slandering your ass for the rest of your life.
Dang.
But Gio, let me ask you real quick.
Yeah.
If he is found guilty,
Mm-hmm.
since he is a more known, better player than Jontay Porter, do you think Adam Silver gives him the same punishment, or do you think there's some leniency at stake here?
No, he definitely gets the same punishment.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime
It
ban.
has to be.
I think Adam Silver is gonna do a good job of handling the situation if he is found guilty. So I'm confident in that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you got to set the precedent.
Yeah.
Because you go from Jontay to Malik Beasley, it's a clear jump. Someone
Right.
making a two-way contract to a mid-level exception.
Right, and it's not like he's like some superstar or anything like that.
No.
No.
So I'm pretty sure Adam Silver will be pretty decisive on this.
But we actually did mention this during the Jontay thing that, like, if someone's going to be next, it's going to be a better player.
We did say that.
And that's exactly
Well, how do you
what
get
it
worse
was.
than Jontay Porter? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could have been. Trust me, there are worse. I mean, when Jontay was in the league last year, he was actually playing half decent.
He was alright.
So,
Yeah.
there's worse players, like
Yeah.
Thanasis.
There are a lot.
But-
A lot of
Thanasis is
two-way
goated,
guys.
bro. What are you
Thanasis
talking
is
about?
the GOAT.
A lot of two-way
To be fair.
guys.
But, I mean, Jontay was a two-way guy.
Yeah, well, exactly. Same caliber.